All right, so America is now divided into two camps. Tonight, you're either Team Trump or you're Team Ramos. Donald Trump making no apologies for having the Univision anchor escorted out of his news conference.
Do you really have to pick a side here?
We are picking teams. Do it.
Today, Trump called Ramos a raving madman. Here's what he said, and here's what happened yesterday.
Yeah, please. Excuse me, sit down. You weren't called. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Go ahead. No, you don't. You haven't been called. Go back to Univision. Go ahead.
Trump's security escorted Ramos out. He was later allowed back in, but this is just another example of critics are calling Trump's bullying ways. Joining us now to talk more about this, image consultant and best-selling author of Be the Brand, Tamara Jacobs.
How are you guys?
Hi.
Hi.
And I thought this was so fitting. I am bringing gifts and self-promotion. This is my new book, Your Ultimate Success Plan. How Trumpian of me.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes.
Promote yourself.
Why not?
Exactly.
Promote yourself.
So is this just Trump or is this bullying?
You know, it's interesting because I do think he's crossed the line. I think that America likes bravura. We like bragging, but we don't like bullying. So he needs to start to be careful. I think he's drinking his own Kool-Aid, and we know what happens when you do that.
You say that, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him. I mean, his poll numbers keep going higher and higher. He can bully and he can say whatever he wants. Unprovoked, he basically called out Megyn Kelly.
Because he's Daddy Warbucks. If you think about it, he's P.T. Barnum and Daddy Warbucks in an era of depression. Start to sound familiar?
Yeah.
So what's happening is he's entertaining and he's very bombastic. So we're constantly appalled, but it's like a train wreck. You have to keep watching it. And he's colorful. He has energy. We're not so concerned with what he says, but we like the bravura with which he says it. And you know, yeah, maybe he's going to start to cross the line. And I think he's close. I do think he's close. But right now, people are so fascinated that he's taking on what we perceive to be, pardon me, the press and even the existing president.
How dare you? No,
How dare we, yes. Yes.
You make a really good point because he is the quintessential rich guy, or what most of us in our minds think of as an uber rich guy, right? He constantly brags about his planes. I have more money. I have billions of dollars. I mean, I have spent election after election hearing every single candidate try to explain why they're relatable to the public, why their income isn't what it is, why they're always pretending to play the poor card. Oh, my dad served ice cream and my mom was a teacher. He's proudly a capitalist, proudly displays his wealth, and maybe America's like,
here's the thing. We want to feel right again. We all want to feel rich again. We want to stop apologizing for who we are in our personal success. And if I were to have given Mitt Romney any advice, it would be stop apologizing for being successful. It's okay. And what's interesting about Trump, he seems to so enjoy being rich. And then he sort of spreads it around. That's what I said about Daddy Warbucks. I want to fly in his helicopter too.
Yes.
You know, he's making everybody feel like
I disagree here.
Well, okay, yeah, disagree.
I disagree because I think that people like rich people or people who succeed and came from nothing. But at the same time, people don't like rich people who flaunt it, are mean to other people. They like rich people who appreciate where they came from.
I have to
you know what I mean?
I don't think he's mean to other people. What I think he's doing, he's mean to specific people. And some of those people, America's going, yeah, they need somebody to stand up to them. What we like about Trump, believe it or not, is that he's a rich person who seems to be representing the everyman. He has the guts that I'm afraid to have. He has the voice that I'm afraid to have. So, you know, right now he's speaking anger. Ultimately, he has to speak truth.
But he's not speaking to a large contingent of Hispanic Americans, the Latino population,
I agree
who are
with that.
furious with him and probably very frustrated with America for seeing Trump's poll numbers right now.
Well, I think what's happening is very interesting, and it's sad too. Look, we already live in a polarized society. I think he's polarizing it even more. But what's interesting is there's becoming some kind of equilibrium, because I think that people felt, rightly or wrongly, that we were leaning to the left. Now he's pulling us to the right. The hope is somebody's going to come in and be, you know, in the middle. That too hot, too cold, just right. The problem is, I think the just right candidates right now are being overshadowed. I think there's some really good people who can't even be heard because they're not as charismatic. They don't fly in their helicopter. They don't wear, you know, the bright red hat.
They don't have his hair.
They don't have his hair, and they don't have his wife.
But
by the way,
it all falls, you know, it's all connected because the poll numbers are up and his poll numbers are up, so the media tends to cover it more. Everybody's
right,
covering
that's right.
it more, so
But-
he's just
but-
getting all of the attention because of that as well.
I would say, but you know, there's an analogy here. What goes up must come down, just like the stock market. And I'll put myself out there. I do think he's enjoying a bubble right now because he's so far exceeded our expectation, right? When he got into the race, we thought he was going to be a showman. Now we've found out that he actually has stamina. And one of the things that I say is energy is infectious. You don't have it, I can't catch it. And he's got so much energy right now that people, I think, are caught up in that wave. They're not listening to substance. They're looking at style.
It is an ego well fed. Is
It is an ego
Well-fed
you're absolutely
ego.
right.
Well
You're absolutely
said.
right. And
Well
well
said.
said.
I mean,
Well
that's-
said and well fed. There you
Oh,
go.
wow. Thank you.
I'm well fed, you're well said. We make quite a team, Bobby.
Right. Not a bad image, huh?
Not a bad image. And by the way, you guys are very fresh. You're very spontaneous. You're very unexpected. You are the brand.
Whoa.
We need to have you come back and give us some image tips. Thank
I think
you.
you're working it out. You look pretty good.
Tamara Jacobs, thanks for coming in.
Thank
Check
you.
out her book, 2 books, multiple books.
Underachiever.
I know.